Hold on a second. I'm trying to get the intro to work. Hold on. That's why you have a mouse. See, I don't have a mouse because I got this really fancy new camera so I can look all crystal clear for you people. And look what happened. Technical difficulties. So there you go. What's up, people? How's everybody doing tonight? It's a good night. It's Sunday again. You know what that means? Yakin with Yukon. Got an all new guest for you guys tonight. Tony from Star Wars Sith. Looking forward to this one. Man, I got to give it to him too because literally the within a couple of hours when I asked him a few weeks ago to be on the show, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm down." And I love that, man. I love it when people are just so excited to be on everybody's show and they do that. You got your few who take a long time to think about it and stuff. Nah, Tony didn't think about it. He just did it. And that's what I love about it, man. He's a very supportive guy in the community. He has his own show. So we're going to get into all that stuff and super excited to get this going. We've got some people. Damn it, I need my mouse. We got some people in. We have got Joe. What's up, Joe from JMC Collects? We got Ultra Cardizilla. All right, what's up? And we got Dana Ahmed. So there you go. We got some new people in the chat. So thank you for being here. Let's get on with it. Let me go ahead and cue up Tony's music as long as it'll work here. Let's see if it does. All right, man. What's up?
Awesome. What's up? That intro was sick, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, absolutely. So how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you again for being on the show. Really appreciate you not only being on, but getting back to me quickly. And I love the positivity and the everything, man. Everything. So what's going on in your world, man? I know you're staying busy on YouTube. How are things?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, just staying busy as always, man. I feel like I'm on a lot more now than when I first started. So like every Friday, got the podcast dropping. Now Wednesday, I have a live show now every Wednesday. And then I've been live streaming games like crazy now all the time, all of a sudden. So all of a sudden I've been, gaming a lot. So just been staying busy, but all of it's just having fun, man. The thing I like the most is just connecting with everybody, talking with everybody. I see we got Dana in the chat. What's up, Dana? What's up, Joe? What's up, Fandalorian? Bunch of my friends in there.
Nice.
So showing love and support.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming. We got Millennium Workshop too, guys. If you haven't checked out Rex's stuff, go check out Rex's stuff. He does a great job. Him and I have been talking back and forth. He's trying to get me to buy stuff. I'm not quite there yet, but he does great jobs with 3D printing, helmets. He's working on a life-size battle droid right now. So go check that stuff out, guys. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Dude, Tony, go check it out. Seriously.
I will for sure.
It's awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to throw some questions at you about collecting, about your kind of your origins, YouTube, all that thing. So let's start at the beginning, kind of like we always do. What got you into collecting when you were little? I mean, how did it go when you were little? Did you play with a lot of toys? Were you really into Star Wars? What was your kind of thing when you were, 5 years old?
So when I was younger, I really didn't have much Star Wars toys like at all. So I remember it was a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff and Ghostbuster stuff. So I remember early 90s, I had the Ghostbuster Firehouse, which I want to get again so bad. So I remember I had that. And then I had some Ninja Turtle thing, which I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of like a ball that had 3 levels. I played with that for so long, so many years. So I was into that younger, but I would watch Star Wars all the time on VHS back in the day. But it was always Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, like as a young kid in the early 90s.
Man, it's like you were part of my childhood because that's exactly how I was. Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. I'm actually on the hunt for the Firehouse right now too, as well as the Technodrome. So, man, I mean, that's awesome. What was was there that one toy other than those that you kind of really stuck to? Maybe you had it in your pocket all the time. You took it with you on a car trip. Do you remember one toy that's just like it was your go-to toy?
Not like a toy that I could think of. I know my Game Boy was my go-to that I took everywhere with me because I remember I had every level of Game Boy, the big OG one, the pocket, the color. So I always had that with me. But as far as like toys, it probably would have been like a turtle, a specific like Ninja Turtle. like for sure. I can't remember anyone, but it would be that because I remember playing with those like the most.
Right, right. Yeah, and those were the easy ones to, they used to make them a lot better back in the day. You could kind
Yeah.
of throw
Oh
them
yeah.
around. They
Yep.
get a little bit of a paint chip, but they wouldn't break. It's not like now where you can take a Black Series figure, throw it against the wall, and it shatters.
Oh yeah.
It's
Exactly. Exactly.
a lot easier to do. So how did your collecting go when you were a kid, and back into, when you're a teenager and now as an adult? Did you kind of collect all the way through, or did you have lulls in it, or how did that go?
So I would say it like really like collecting or just playing with it was when I was younger was just getting it as gifts. So it would always be birthday, Christmas gifts, and then the trips to Toys R Us and KB Toys because I'm from New York, so I used to live in New York, and we had a Toys R Us there and a KB Toys. So every now and then, if we made a trip to the mall that was by there, going in there, getting that one toy every trip. So that's kind of how I got most of the toys younger. Then kind of in my teens, I really didn't have a whole lot. It wasn't until maybe like 2015 I started to get into Funko.
Mm,
So it started with Star Wars with Funko, and then 2019 when the Hasbro Slave One came out, I had to get that, the vintage one. And then when I got that, that is what opened the rabbit hole, the black hole. Because then I'm like, okay, I need to get a Boba Fett, and then I saw,
right,
oh, they make
right,
vintage collection Boba Fett, so I
right.
ordered one, and I ordered the wrong one. I didn't realize, oh, this is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. I need the Empire. This is the Empire Slave
Right.
one. So then I ordered that, but when I got it, I'm like, this card back is beautiful. I need to order two, one to keep carded and one to open. And then it just trickled. Then I saw Black Series next, and I'm like, wow, this is detail. It looks better. I started to get some of those. Then I saw Hot Toys. I'm like, these are even bigger and more detail. And then it just went downhill from there.
And it's like you said, it's a black hole. It's a
Oh,
complete rabbit hole.
it's
And
terrible.
once you start, it's just there's
Yes.
no real end in sight. I mean,
No,
let's be
no.
honest, it's
You
it's
just
kind
pick
of
and
crazy.
choose your scale. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. What is, speaking of that, what is your go-to scale? Is it just kind of a little bit of everything, or do you have one that you love more than the other?
It's usually whatever's on clearance,
Okay.
unless it's Darth Maul, then I get everything Darth Maul, full price or not. But I think I lean more towards vintage because I love what they do with the card backs. It's just like art. It's just so beautiful. So I would say vintage, and like I'm really big on the vehicle. So like I have 5 out of the 7 gunships ever released,
It's
and then I
amazing.
got a bunch of the X wings and like Obi-Wan Starfighter, Anakin Starfighter. So like since those are all vintage scales, it's nice to have the figure that goes in there. So
Right.
I would say I'm more of a 3 3/4 guy than a Black Series Hot Toys guy right now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me welcome in a few more people that showed up when we were talking. We've got Chris from Everything's Plastic. Guys, if you haven't checked him out, go check him out. I was on his show
What's
last
up?
night. So dude, guys, go check him out. Does a great job. Thanks for being on here, Chris. Appreciate it. We got the MVP of YouTube, Rolando.
Rolando.
How does he do it, man? Is he on your lives too and all your
He
stuff?
this dude is everywhere. He's on a bunch of mine. He's always on Kenobi's bunkers. This dude
Kenobi,
is
yep.
the hardest working person on the internet, bro.
I
Hands
think
down.
he's cloned himself. I really
Yeah.
think he's cloned himself. I think there's like 50 Rolandos that all have the same chat and,
He's
going into it.
AI.
He's AI, exactly, man, exactly. There we got Mr. Fantastic. What's up, Mr. Fantastic? Good to see you, buddy.
What's
We
up?
also have EC. Sorry, Colin, I missed you. Let me go back to Colin. We got Colin here. What's up, man?
What up?
And let's see, do we have anybody else? Oh, and we have got Collecting Havoc. Yeah, guys, if you haven't
What's
checked
up?
out Collecting Havoc, go check him out too. He'll be on this show in mid-August. So looking forward to that as well. All right, man. Well, you kind of laid down a little bit what got you into collecting and stuff. Obviously, you're into helmets too. You've got a ton of helmets. Can you talk about
Oh.
those behind you?
Yeah, so that was another freaking rabbit hole. So when you get one helmet, it's like you don't stop. You
Right.
just need them all. So I guess I got in at the right time. I forgot which. So I think when they re-released the Empire Boba helmet, which is not here, it's in my living room, it's on display. But when that re-released, I got it for retail, and I'm like, oh, I love this. So then I started noticing other helmets, but then I saw all the older ones were like double, triple, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Right.
So I just paid attention to when stuff released, and I started getting everything for retail, or I started finding helmets on sale. So like the white Stormtrooper helmet I got on Amazon on clearance for $79.99. I was
Yep.
shocked. And then a couple other helmets, I got like $50 on sale at GameStop. I got a red Sith helmet from Target for like $80 on clearance. So I started to find them on sale. So every helmet was either retail or cheaper because I don't want to pay the resale for it. But like it blew up, as you can see. I think I have like 15 of them now.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And those are all Black Series helmets?
So Black Series, just because like the EFX and all the other ones, they're nice, but like I don't need to spend 400 or 500 when it's gonna sit there and it looks the same.
Good point.
So
Good point.
that's why I stick with the Black Series. It's good enough for me, and yeah, it works.
Yeah, those like you said, the EFX are great, but when you're talking 125 or in your case clearance 80
Yeah,
to $500 a piece, I mean,
huge difference.
huge difference. The look, I've actually never seen one in person. Have you ever seen one of those EFX in person? I haven't.
Yeah, I think so. Like
No.
at Celebration and stuff, because they always have a booth and they look good. But like if they didn't tell you, it's like that could looks just like the Black Series.
Right, right. Yeah, if you put them together, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not worth the extra few $100, I'm sure, So
yeah.
so Ultra Carzill's got one for you. The problems I have with the vintage collection is Hasbro overprices the living shit
Oh
on their
yes.
vehicles. Yep. Overpriced recent ATST goes 80 to 100 instead of at least 40. Completely agree. That's one of the things
100%.
that drew me away from vintage collection was just, I mean, a basic figure now is $17.
It's
You know,
ridiculous.
it's
Oh,
crazy.
I wait because like none of them sell, and I get everything on clearance. Like the speeder bike, I refuse to pay that price. I just got it on Amazon for half the price on clearance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you didn't have to wait that long. I mean,
No,
we all
it
kind of knew
wasn't.
that was going to happen.
Yep,
Once you saw 45, it's been a couple months, starting 30 at Walmart.
yep,
You kind of saw that one coming. So
exactly.
that's not surprising at all. All right, we got the man Clicks. What's up, Chris? I'm going to
What's
call you
up?
Chris now since I know your name, buddy. All right, and then let's see, Ultra Cards. Star Wars Sith. Have you ever went to
Oh
FYE and
my
see how much
god.
because FYA starts 25 to 30. Yes, a Black Series they're 40 to 50. They
So
kind of do a lot of that stuff where they're charged more per character too.
I stopped going to FYE because of that. Because every time I go in there, I almost want to like yell at them, but I know it's not the workers' fault. But like, why? Like, I literally in there, and the vintage figure is like $25, and it's on Amazon, $12.99 next day
Right,
shipping for free.
right.
It makes no sense. FYE, they're the biggest clowns in the world.
I
I'm
totally
done
agree
with
with you,
them.
man. I totally agree with
Done.
you. And it's like they don't learn. People say this all the time online and stuff, and it's like, don't go to FYE, don't go to FYE.
No.
They don't learn, man. Then you got people hitting up Ollies, $4 for a vintage figure,
Bro,
$5 for a vintage
yes.
figure.
I
You know,
love Ollie's. I have 2 or 3 by me, so I'm spoiled. I find the craziest things when I go, man.
you are spoiled, man. I got one by me. It's always pit clean because it's the only one in Oklahoma. But man, you're lucky to
Mm,
have that many because
yep.
there's been some great deals there lately, and
Yeah.
really helps out a lot. All right, cool, man. Well, we kind of know what started it up. So YouTube, let's talk about that. How long have you been in YouTube now?
So it's been about almost 13 months. So a little over a year. I hit a year at the beginning of this month. So a little over a year now.
You are killing it for a year, man. Because
Thank you.
you're close to 3K. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What made you start a YouTube channel? What was it that was like I wanna be on YouTube?
Star Wars Celebration is what made me
Mm,
start it. So I originally started my channel just to kind of cover it because I had already been to Orlando 2017 and Chicago 2019, and I had a blast. But there were still so many people that were Star Wars fans that have no idea what Celebration is.
right.
So I made my channel to kind of cover what it is, like how to get information about it, how to like get in, how to do panels, how to do raffles. So for Anaheim 2022, I covered that whole event. That's when my channel started. My first like 6 videos are all from 2022 Anaheim celebration. And then that's what started my channel. And then, celebration is only a couple days in the year, every other year, if that. So I needed to obviously do other things. So with the love for Star Wars, I kind of covered, the things that I do all the time. I figured why not record it because everyone else does it. So like toy hunts, I'm always toy hunting. Target, GameStop, Walmart. So now every time I go anywhere, I'm always recording just in case I find something crazy.
Right.
And then I started doing like unboxing reviews for like anything from Funkos to Black Series to Hot Toys. And then I got into reaction videos. So I started reacting to like Mando season 3, Bad Batch, stuff like that. And then it turned into, having like live shows every Wednesday now. live streaming. So it's pretty much anything and everything Star Wars. But the main thing was just covering celebration and conventions.
Sure. And you've been to Celebration London too, right?
Yeah, so that was a wild experience, especially because I think I hit 1,000 right before I went over there. So I went over there, I was monetized, had a little bit more subscribers, and like just it was such a blast out there, man. Such a blast.
That's great, man. That you're able to do it, and keep doing it. That's really cool,
Yeah.
buddy. Because it's like, I've been to one. I was at the very first one. I don't know if you remember this. This is in 1999, so maybe not.
Oh,
But
the Colorado
the
one?
Colorado, I lived there. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's how old
so
I am.
cool. That's so cool.
So that was funny because it was in Buckley Air Force Base, and it was in a hangar. And it was like a few days before Phantom Menace came out, and nobody knew what
Yeah.
the hell they were doing, man. It was just kind of this
Yeah.
throw things together. I remember I went with my dad and my brother, and the best part was they had all the new figures out on display, and it was a couple days before they released
Oh.
them. And I'm like a kid in a candy store, like I cannot wait to get these figures. And it was I've been dying to get to another one, but being at the first one was really something, man. And it's
That
really gotten better.
is.
It's gotten a lot
Oh,
better, I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a
That's
big deal now.
crazy.
So, do you have any plans to go to Japan in a few years?
Yep,
A couple years? You
100%.
do?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome,
Lit
man.
Literally after they announced it while we were there in London, we started looking at hotels and flights and like everything like already. So I kind of mentally have it like almost all planned out. I'm just waiting to when we can book hotels and flights because it's 2 years out. But
Yeah, yeah.
100%, we're going out. I'm going out there. There's probably like 10, 15 of us from Florida that all want to go. So we're probably going to try to
Wow.
go as a big group. We're going to go out there deep because a lot of people have always wanted to go to Japan just because it's Japan.
Sure,
But
sure.
but now it's like 2 for 1. You get Japan and celebration. So yeah.
That's crazy, man. I thought I was gonna get a no on that question,
Oh
honestly.
no, right. Well, another thing, it's the 20-year anniversary of Revenge of the
Yeah,
Sith, which is my favorite movie. I'm not missing that panel with Hayden and Hewan on stage talking about that movie. That's gonna be such a priceless moment. I'm gonna sacrifice and go because the flight prices are ridiculous. They
I'm
scare
sure.
me.
I'm sure.
And it's an 18-hour flight. So like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it'll be worth it once I get there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's worth it, like you said. How many times you get the chance to go to Japan? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like you got it. And if it's got Star Wars in it, that's kind of a no-brainer. So totally get it.
Yeah.
There he is. There's the man we were talking about, Mr. Daryl
Hello
Canoes Bunker.
there. What up,
What's up, buddy?
Jose?
What's up, man? So, before I ask you a couple more, I know you
Uh-huh.
and Joe and Jose all have something going tomorrow night. Do you guys are you able to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get on it because I work, but if I get out early, I'm gonna hop on. But I know Joe, Jose, OG Geek, and Mike Havens, the guy who runs ICC Con, he's gonna be on General Kenobi Bunker Show. Be sure to check it out at I think it's 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's 8 the whatever his time is, the weird time. It's all weird to me. The CST, I think it's called. It
Central
always
Time.
throws me
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
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 it throws me off because I'm on the East Coast.
yeah.
But they're just bringing them on, I think, just to talk all things ICC Con, open flow. So, because we all had a blast there. So they want to kind of bring them on just to talk to them, thank him, and tell him how much we really enjoyed it. Because it was me and Jose's first time. And then OG Geek and JMC Collects, it was their second time. And we had the time of our life at such a like smaller venue if you compare it to like New York Comic Con Celebration.
Mhm.
I literally had the same amount of fun there as I did in London, which is crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, who thinks you're gonna have as much fun in Tennessee as you are in
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 Nashville,
London, man?
Tennessee,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I legit did with those 3 guys.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
What if we could? We'll stick on this for a minute. What
yeah.
what is it about the show that makes it so good? Is it just kind of the more intimate setting, and you've got vendors, everybody's like-minded, or what is it that's so great about that show? Honestly,
So probably the intimate setting, right? Because it wasn't over packed, so you could breathe and walk. The vendors were awesome because they had a ton of variety of stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, new, old, just released, re-released. They had anything you could ever imagine was there and at a reasonable price. So that was great. And then like the panels weren't overpacked. You could walk in, get in. We got to see the whole Rebels cast talk, which was amazing. We got to see Daredevil from Netflix. Charlie Cox was there. Vincent D'Onofrio was there. So it was dope
wow.
to see them. So that was dope. And then the photo ops and autographs. I basically just walked up to the whole Rebels cast and got an autograph. At Celebration, you're waiting hours
Yeah.
at any big convention. So that blew me away that I was able to get 5 autographs in a row in like 20, 30 minutes, which makes no sense. So just that whole experience, it just enhances it. And just like you're just meeting like-minded people like you, like, General Kenobi, James C. Collects, first time meeting them in person. And then OG Geek, I've met him a bunch because he's in Florida too. So I see this
Sure.
guy at every toy show in the state.
That's insane, man. Would you say that's your favorite con right now, or is Star Wars
I would say
Celebration
it's
step
right
above?
under Celebration. It's
Okay.
literally it's like right there. The only edge Celebration has is because like it's ran by like Lucasfilm Disney, so you get trailers, you get big announcements from the most current cast and stuff. So that's the only edge that it has. But other than that, I probably spent more money on the floor at ICC than at Celebration just because it's better deals and better prices, better variety.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the back before the show started. You were saying there was just some insane deals there, like nearly retail, maybe a little bit above retail. I told you I was like I did not expect that. Usually at conventions and shows like that, you're kind of getting raked over the coals a little bit.
Yeah,
You're getting the
yeah.
scalpers, and so that I mean that's great to hear right there. So you strike some deals?
So I got a couple. We got a couple good things. I know I got a vintage Kenner X-wing that was pretty much mint with everything for like $80, which was a good price for it,
Nice.
complete. And then a couple other things, little things here and there. But the main thing I did is I brought a Rebels poster with me, and I had the whole cast sign it. So that was where a lot of my funds went to, was just getting all like 4 of those autographs. But there was just more that I wanted. But I flew there and I had just a carry-on, so I wasn't equipped to bring back a lot of stuff like
Sure.
Joe, who drove and loaded up his car with everything ever.
Right.
But next year I'm driving, so I can load it up, and I'm gonna go there with more money for sure.
Well, what I thought it was cool. So I watched all of yours. I watched all your coverage. I watched all of Joe's coverage, and I watched
Nice.
all of Jose's coverage. I honestly felt like I was there with you guys. Because you guys did such a good job mapping it out. You did a good job to where it's like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm there. I'm kind of feel like
Yeah.
maybe I'm not part of the crew, but I'm there. And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what you want to see when you're kind of on the fence like I am, and I'm sure some of these other people are. You want to see that and be like, it kind of convinces you, okay, next year I think this is definitely the one
100%. Yeah.
I want to go to and I want to be a part of because
Yeah.
that's just the thing, man. So I'm glad to hear that is. I'm glad to hear you had a good time, man, and I'm glad to hear you'll be out there. Hopefully I can get out there and I can meet you too. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And
The
with ICC, it's crazy. So the first day, 10 minutes in, I already knew I wanted to come back next year. That's all
Mm.
it took, was 10 minutes.
Would you say that you need the full 3 days?
Well, no, not really, but
Okay,
like, no, you don't need the full 3 days. But I mean, well, the full 3 days, it's VIP for the full 3 days, which is a little pricier.
sure.
But honestly, if you could swing it, it's worth it for that first day, because the VIP day, it was insane how it's just for all VIPs and press, how empty it was, especially for autographs and stuff like that. So I would, just because like you see different stuff each day, and as stuff sells through, people put different stuff out. And that last day, like the last hour, we got some deals.
Sure. Yeah, you were talking to me about that. Some of
Yeah.
the deals you guys got. It's insane, man. So
Yeah.
good. That sounds great. Yeah, I would say if you guys are all at all interested, definitely book the trip. I think they do it Memorial Day weekend every year. Is that correct?
I think so. I think, yeah, it's in
Definitely is.
May. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. Yeah, sounds good, man. All right. So Ultra Cardzilla says, imagine Bobby led a strike against FYE and forced them to lower their effing prices on action figures.
I wish, man. They're ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so insane. All right. Oh, you just gave me the feels for the episode 1 toy release. I was at Toys. Yes, I was too, man. Yes, that was
Oh.
insane. Actually, you know what? I don't know if anybody else did this. The Revenge of the Sith one was the best one because I remember I had an entire shopping cart full at Walmart, and I was like the only person who did that. And I got the strangest looks. They're like, "How can you afford this?" I'm like, "Well, I've been saving money for a year for this."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and then the Toys R Us, man. I don't know if you miss Toys R Us as much as I do, but
Every day.
their
Every day.
displays were incredible for Midnight
Always.
Madness. Did you ever
Always.
attend any of those?
No, I never attended any of those, but I remember going in, and for every new movie or toy
Yeah,
release, always had the sickest displays ever that you had to buy something from that display.
Right.
It
Right.
just sucks because, like, if I have kids one day, that's something I would have loved to take them to Toys R Us, just like how I was
Yeah.
taking to Toys R Us. You get one toy. I miss that so much, man.
Yeah, it really does suck, man. I know Chris from Everything's Plastic. He's got one up in Canada, so it's like you
Yeah,
can
they're still there,
you
and
can
in
always go to
Europe too.
Canada, but yeah, Europe too. Exactly. I think
Yeah,
they put some of those little hodgepodge ones in Macy's too, but that's
yeah,
not
they're
really.
trash. It doesn't
Yeah,
count.
they okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. So we got Viper's Pit. Viper's Pit's going to be on the show
What's up, Viper?
soon. I don't remember where, but thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate you being in. And then Mr. Fantastic says, I went to the Hayden panel at the Philly Fan Expo. It's great seeing
Nice.
Star Wars community embrace him. That's awesome, man. I think Hayden, if I had to pick two, it would definitely be Hayden and Ewan. Who would your top two be?
Top two.
To me.
Oh, it'd be them, and I met both of them already
Oh, okay.
twice.
Nice. Nice.
And if they're at the next any show I go to, whether no matter where it is, if they're there, I'm paying it. And their price is kind of ridiculous, but it is worth every penny.
Sure.
Cause like, so I met Hewen at Anaheim Celebration, got a photo there. I met Hayden at MegaCon in Orlando, got a photo, and then in London, I got a photo with Hewen again, and I wore a T-shirt, and the T-shirt was our picture from Anaheim,
Oh,
and he
nice.
looked at it and he
Nice.
laughed and he said he loved it, which was amazing. And then in London, I also did the dual photo op with Hayden and Hewen together, which is
Oh,
the first
nice.
time they ever did it. So
Awesome.
I was in a big financial hole, but it was worth every penny because, like, those two guys, like, that's my childhood right there, bro.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
come on.
Yeah, and it's funny to talk to somebody whose childhood so mine is obviously original trilogy, but
Mhm.
it's so interesting to talk to someone whose is Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones,
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. What do you consider your favorite Star Wars movies? Because you grew up
Revenge of the
with
Sith.
okay, that was easy.
Yep.
What do you think of the prequel trilogy compared to the original trilogy?
So it's changed over the years because back when the prequels dropped, I liked them, but I still was OG over prequel all day for the longest. So when Phantom Menace came out in '99, I was 14. I remember seeing that in the theater, and that was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. And then I've seen everyone since then. But over the past, since Clone Wars has been out and Rebels, watching Filoni's Clone Wars like enhances the
Mhm,
prequels to
mhm.
me, and now it kind of like elevated it to me as like that's my favorite, just because there's so much depth and backstory now built from Filoni stuff. So yeah, I'm saying now more of a prequels guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that really helped because a lot of people say the same thing where they had a hard time with the prequels, but once
Oh
Clone
yeah.
Wars came out, it just kind of filled those gaps and
Yep.
made everything make a little more sense,
Yep.
made the movies better. Because I know Revenge of the Sith is moving up on a lot of people's list, getting
Oh
close
yeah.
to Empire, which
Yeah.
I love Revenge of the Sith, one of my
Yeah.
probably my second favorite, but it kind of boggles my mind that people compare it to Empire. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, I can't believe
Yeah.
that, but
Most people I talk to, it's like their favorite movie. It's either Empire or Revenge of the Sith. On
right,
average, it's
right.
one of those two.
Right, right. And Revenge, see the thing I love about Revenge too is there's it seems like there's more action in that one
Oh yeah.
than any other.
Of
It's
course.
very, five lightsaber battles. You got Grievous, you got all those things. And it's like I definitely was the most excited for that one out of all the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I just think it did the other two pretty much put you to sleep, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so all right, so look who we got here. We got T3. What's up, Carlos?
What's
I would have
up?
only went to get Charlie Crocs to autograph my Marvel Legends figure.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is a
Yeah.
Star Wars show. Get out of here with that Marvel Legends stuff, man. Get out of here. And then we got the man, Hollywood. What's up?
Nerd
Archer, how you
affiliated.
doing,
What's
buddy?
up, bro?
Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. All right, so let's go back to YouTube a little bit. We touched on that
Yeah.
earlier. What have you learned from YouTube? So you've been on just a little over a year. You've
Yeah.
done awesome. You're almost at 3,000 subs. What's been
Thank
the
you.
good? What's been the best parts of it for you?
Honestly, just making new friends and meeting people like you, James C. Collects, General Kenobi's Bunker, like all those guys. Now it's like I have friends for life. And then throughout my year, I have a little like chat, a little like group chat. There's like 10 of us, and we're all
Hmm.
content creators. So connecting with them all the time. We have each other on each other's shows, lives, and things like that. So work with each other, we learn from each other, and we like motivate each other. So it's kind of cool because I never would have met none of these people, and they're all over. They're in Florida, they're
Right.
in Canada, they're in Rhode Island, they're in Texas. So it's cool just meeting all these people. So I would say that's probably the good. It's just meeting like-minded people.
Sure, which is hard to do. It's hard to go out in the
Yeah,
street and meet somebody who's into Star Wars, that's into
yeah,
collecting. It doesn't happen every day. It's very
no,
rare. I was talking about
no,
this with Chris yesterday. It's like, where else can I go and not feel a little, you know, not too confident about what I do as
yeah,
a hobby in my everyday life. I can't go to the store or church or wherever it's going to be.
yeah,
Hi, I'm Yukon Phil. I collect. You want to be friends? Well,
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't work that way, man. But here
No,
it's totally different. It's
yeah,
like I said at the beginning of the show. I reached out to you. Boom, there it is.
yeah,
And it's like it's a really cool thing where I used to be embarrassed by the stuff. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but I used to be embarrassed this stuff when I was in
yeah.
my teenage years, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can see everything. I could care less.
Right, right. It's like, well, now the bigger one you got, the cooler you are, the bigger
Yeah,
collection
yeah,
and everything
exactly.
else. So, I mean, it's really interesting how that goes, man. What are some of the negative things you've seen, if any?
I mean, I know when I first started and like the first negative comments, like right away I started typing like, well, actually, but then I'm like, wait, let me not get into that battle because like there's trolls, like they're always gonna be there. So I never replied to any of the negative comments. So I haven't had a ton, but there's been a few negative comments or like a few things that are like wildish things to say. And I've blocked a handful of people that way I don't ever have to deal with it.
Sure.
But I would just say that really is just only negative, just the trolls, and but they're always going to be there. So you kind of have to learn to live with that. And I have thick skin too, so they're not going to hurt my feelings. Like, okay, cool, whatever. You
Right.
thanks for the view and the whatever, the like or the thumbs down. Either way, thanks for the engagement.
Right. Yeah, and that's just something you got to get used to, like you said.
Yep, yep.
Initially you're like, I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna
Yeah,
hammer
right
this guy.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wait, no,
Right,
no,
right.
it's not
It's
worth
not
it.
worth it. Not
Yeah,
worth it. Exactly, man. It's
yep,
not worth it. Not worth it at all. So you're already monetized. You already
yes.
got your subs. What is your ultimate goal for your channel?
So it would be nice to do it full time. So I originally started just as fun because like I want it to be authentic and real in me. I don't want to make a channel just so I could just make money and do it full time,
Sure.
right? I wanted just to make my channel just to connect with people, have fun, show off the things that I like to do, the toy hunting, the collecting, the conventions, and help people out if they're going to their first celebration and things like that. So that's originally kind of what got me going. So I still want to just keep going with that, keep growing, because like regardless of the channel is successful or not, I'm still going to be doing the same stuff that I do on the channel. I've
Right.
been doing conventions and collecting since 2015, and I should have started my channel back then because MegaCon was my first show in 2015. That's when I started getting into Funkos. So like I should have started back then because I've been doing it for so long. So I just want to continue to keep growing, and if it works and I could do it full time, hey, I mean, why not? I see so many people that are successful, like Star Wars Theory and Josh at Den of Nerds. Like I watched them, I've been watching them for a while, and probably right before I started my channel, it blew my mind that these dudes, all they do is talk about Star Wars, and then Josh talks about Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and it's their job, and
Right.
they get paid for that, and they support their lives and their families. And I'm like, what? So
Yeah.
then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I saw how they started. They just did it from love first, and then it turned out that way. So that's
Sure.
kind of why I want to stay like authentic and like not count on it to like, hey, I'm gonna quit and just do this. Like I'm just having fun, and if it keeps going good, awesome.
That's great, man. And who wouldn't want to do their passion for
Yeah,
their job? Not a lot of people can say
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great goal, man. Was Do you find YouTube difficult at times? When you went into it, did you think it would be the way it's gone so far? Do you think it would be difficult? Do you think it would be easy? How did that go for you?
So some of it was difficult, I would say. So before I started my channel, I mean, us being in the future we are now, it's so much easier to start versus back in the day. Like if I would have started back in 2015, my stuff would have been trash because there wasn't a lot of like content creators like there is now that we watch normally to get ideas and see how they do things.
Right.
But I know when I first started, maybe like 4 or 5 months in, maybe even 6 months in, I almost wanted to kind of like give up because it's like, man, I'm never gonna get the 1,000 subs. This is
Yeah.
taking too long. The growth is slow. So there were times like that where I was kind of demotivated, but I just kept on going. And I was like, I mean, I'm still having fun. It's not like I'm doing stuff that I don't normally do. So I kind of just pushed myself to get through it. But I did have those lows where I wanted to stop. And luckily I did, because I got so lucky and was monetized, I think at 7 months in or 8 months in, which is kind of crazy.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's
And
insane.
it's a lot of it's luck, because one of my videos from Anaheim Celebration, my sixth video on my channel, kind of went semi-viral, and I got within a couple weeks maybe 100,000 views, which for a channel that barely has 100 subscribers or 200
Huge.
subscribers,
Huge.
yeah. So I got my watch hours basically from that one video within 2 months, and I was like, I saw people that for some people it could be a challenge to get those. I just got lucky.
Yeah.
So since I had that in the back, I was like, all right, let me get the 1,000. And it took a little bit to get to it, but once I got to it, it was worth the struggle and just grinding it through.
Sure, sure. And I think, most people that ask that question, they say the same thing. They're like, there's been times I've wanted to
Yeah.
quit, but I've kind of persevered through it, kind of pushed through it. Usually if it's a passion, you find the will to go through
Yeah.
the hard times and get there and be like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is where I want it to go. And you obviously are no exception to that, man. So that's great to hear, buddy. So Chris has got something funny. That's why I'm moving to America. We have nothing cool happening here.
Where's Chris
He's
at?
in Canada, so he's in the north, like the most. He's on this little island, like this northeastern part
No.
by New England, where it's
Yeah.
Canada. And I was talking about this yesterday, and he's like, "It's so boring here." He's got a guy that
That
gets him his
sucks.
figures. He does have a Toys R Us, so don't sell yourself short,
Oh,
Chris, because
okay.
you got a Toys R Us, man. So, and then Joe says you need 3 days. He's saying you
Yeah.
need 3 days. So at ICCC. So all right, cool. All right. So I mean, what you said is mind-boggling that you got monetized that quick, and that was going to
Bro,
be my next
luck.
question. That
I
was
was
going to be my next
shocked.
question, man. But do you think what do you think are your favorite videos to do right now? What is the one that gets you going, gets you up, and says, "Yes, I love this part the most out of what I'm doing on YouTube right now"?
I would say the convention videos, when I get to go to the conventions, like I've covered New York Comic Con, I've covered MegaCon, I've covered Celebration twice, and then I cover a ton of the random small rinky dink toy shows in Florida
Sure.
that are like no name. So I love doing those because it's so fun, because you never know what you'll find. And then I love doing the cosplay, recording the cosplay. So for all the big shows, I'll do a cosplay recap video, and
Mm,
those always do sick, which I don't, it's crazy. Like my two most viewed videos on my channel is Anaheim cosplay recap and London Celebration cosplay recap. So those are fun just because I love seeing all that stuff again. But I would say just the convention and the cosplay videos are my favorites.
nice, nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah. How about how are you liking lives? You have your own show. You have Sith Talk.
Yeah.
How are you liking doing that? Is that something that you said that came a little later after you
Yeah.
started doing some? How are you enjoying that? Is that one of your favorite parts of the channel too?
So the live show I just started, it's actually called Dark Side Secrets. It's
Okay, sorry
when
about that.
it's oh yeah, no worries. It's Wednesdays. Sif Talk is the podcast that I drop on Friday. So I pre-record it. I want it to be live, but like I'm working, so sometimes I'm not always off that day. And then said have the guests be available that day too. For now, I just pre-record it. So the podcast, I think I started in January, and I love that because every week it's a new person. We talk Star Wars, we talk the latest rumors and stuff, and we promote their channel. The live show, I'm like 3 episodes in, and I love it so far because like I love interacting with the live chat, seeing how they're doing, what they want to talk about. We talk about the latest rumors and stuff, and it's gonna turn into the Ahsoka spoiler show in August
Mm,
because every
nice.
Wednesday we're gonna be talking about that because it's gonna be the biggest thing. So I love lives, and I'm trying just to do more because it's just fun interacting with people.
Absolutely, man. I'm totally there with you. How does it feel to be in the opposite side? How does it feel
Oh,
to be?
so we were talking about this behind, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love this because I'm just here chilling, talking, strolling. I don't got to worry about comments and this and that. So
right.
I don't mind it at all. I'm always open to it. So I love going on other people's shows.
See, that's wild, man, because I was on Chris's show last night. It was kind of like getting an itch. I'm like, I'm not in
Yeah.
control at all. I have
Yeah.
zero control. Here, I'm in control. So that's wild that some people think that, but too much, man. RG, what's up? RG's a former guest. You
What's
guys all know
up?
RG. He's the man. Check him out, and he's another one that just blows up. Art's a great guy. So guys, go check
Nice.
him out if you haven't. I'm sure everybody has, but if you haven't, go do it. All right, man. So as far as YouTube goes, what other videos? You do a lot of shorts too. How are the shorts for you? Do you like doing the shorts?
So yes and no, because like, and you guys were talking about it on your last episode. It's so weird how you'll put a short out and it might in 30 minutes do like 100 views,
Right.
and then you might put another one out and it's 40 views, and then 3 days later it shoots up and then it dies. It's so weird to me. And then sometimes I put it out in the middle of the day, it sucks. I've deleted it and 4 hours later re-uploaded
Yeah.
it and it
Yeah.
blows up.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So I try not to figure out shorts. What I do a lot of times is my long form videos, whether it's like a 10-minute review or toy hunt or the podcast, I'll clip it out and make it a short. So I
Right.
recycle everything into shorts. That way it's not like I don't want to go into an effort to make a short and then it just does nothing.
Sure.
So I'll recycle everything and I'll put it out because there are people that do love shorts that maybe they don't have time to watch your 10-minute video or your hour podcast. So I'll clip it out, give them a little short, boom.
Yep. Yep. No, that's the way to do it. Man, I wish I could tell you what the hell's going on with shorts.
It
It's
makes
really
no
weird.
sense.
No, none. So like the end of last year, my channel blew up with shorts, and it was only because of
Yeah.
shorts. It wasn't because of any other content. And
Oh,
then like the
nice.
beginning of the year, they changed things where you need like
Yeah.
hashtags on them. Since then, I'm happy if I get 200 views on a shorts, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Me too.
and it's like sometimes if you schedule them, it does better. Sometimes if you just throw them right up, it does better. It's like it's
Yeah.
very hard to figure out. Have you had some frustrations and some words with the YouTube algorithm?
Yeah. It's just so weird. I try not to think of it too hard or to deep dive because it can frustrate you because it doesn't make sense a lot of the times. And you think, oh, okay, if I drop it at this time, it's better. But then it ends up not being. And then I've heard that too. If you schedule it, it's better. But
Mhm.
like, it's just so weird. So I just try to have a consistent pattern that I drop everything and just let it take its course.
Right. Yeah, and that's really all you can do because it's out of your hands from there, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, what else can you do? Mr. Fantastic says Toys R Us episode one midnight display was magical. Felt
Nice.
like it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, he's absolutely right. I remember being upset with that display though, because that was like the first time Hasbro kicked up the prices. I remember Power of the Force
Mm,
was like $5, and then they come out with this Comtech. You remember the Comtech, don't you?
yeah.
Little
Yeah.
stands where they made the figures talk,
Yeah.
and it's like $8 a figure. Well, $8 a figure in '99,
Yeah.
that's a
Yep.
lot of money back in
Yep.
'99. So I remember being super frustrated with that, man. That was not cool at all.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. My first Star Wars movie I ever watched in my life was The Force Awakens. Wow.
Mm.
Wow. I don't have anything to say about but the thing is, the originals were able to stand on their own while the prequels needed Clone Wars in order to elevate them. Yes, that's
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
true, man.
fair.
You're
Yep.
absolutely right. Absolutely true. True. Okay, so let's talk about Star Wars more. Obviously, we need to do that.
Yes.
What is your feeling on how Star Wars is going now with Disney, the shows, the new Ray movie? Where there's a lot to talk about here. Let's start out with the shows. Let's start out with Mando. What did you think of Mando this last season?
So the last season let me down for sure. The first two I felt were strong and consistent
Mhm.
bangers. The third one had some amazing moments. Like I like seeing Order 66. That never gets old for me.
Sure.
And I like Ahmed best. So it was super random. It was him, but it was cool that they brought him back to get the love he deserves. Even though it could have been like a cooler Jedi, it could have been Mace or Quinlan or something like that. But seeing Zeb in live action and Mando blew my mind. I didn't expect that. But like overall, I felt the season was just inconsistent. Like I thought the whole season it was going to take them to get to the mines of Mandalore. They did it in an episode and a half. Seeing the Mythosaur was fire, but we never got it again. So there was just a lot of things where it's like I don't know. I feel like there was stuff behind the scenes that messed it up, maybe because it wasn't the same as one and two.
Right. It felt like a lot of misdirection.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said, you thought you were gonna get to the mines, episode 6, episode
yeah,
7,
yeah.
that was gonna be the big thing. It didn't
Yeah.
feel like it had a lot of direction at all.
No.
until maybe episode 6 or 7, and then okay, we got a little more direction now. But it just felt like they kind of just took something, threw it on the wall. Hey, that sticks. Let's go with that. Did you get
Yeah.
that feeling?
Yeah, and Giancarlo, like, bro, this is Gustavo Fring, Moff Gideon. Like, you're wasting that high
Right,
caliber
right,
actor to barely have him in there,
right.
and then you just kill him. He's probably alive, but then you just kill him at the end. Like, come on.
Well, especially giving him the Mando armor, give him
Yeah,
Beskar,
that
and
was
then
so
you
sick.
it looked great, and it's like,
It did.
why didn't you have him through the entire thing looking like that? Why didn't you have the commandos coming through the air the whole time like that?
Yes.
It just felt very unorganized.
Yeah, something
Unorganized.
happened behind the scenes, man. There must have been some drama because there was always rumors that Pedro was gonna leave, and then there was
Mhm.
rumors that John was. There's rumors everyone was gonna leave. Who
Yeah,
knows what's true and what isn't? I just know it wasn't the same as 1 and 2. Something happens.
right. Totally agree with you, man. Totally agree. So what's coming up next is Ahsoka. How psyched are you for Ahsoka?
That's Ahsoka's our only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Ahsoka is gonna be amazing. I highly doubt that KK and them will have like dabbled in there because Dave Filoni, his stuff has been consistent, and I think he knows how to keep it where no one messes with his toys. Because like Clone Wars season 7 was amazing, Tales was peak, Tales of the Jedi was phenomenal.
Right.
So I think Ahsoka is going to be really, really good. It's Rebels season 5 in my eyes, basically, and I love Rebels, so I cannot wait for that. It's just when it finishes, then it's kind of like, well, what do I have to look forward to? Because there's
Right.
not a lot on the horizon. Like Marvel has the next 3-4 years of what they're potentially getting. For us, it's like, what are we getting?
Right. Well, we're getting a Ray movie. How do you
With
feel about that?
I'm not the happiest, but I'm not going to be super negative about it because maybe it'll be good. But I have a bad feeling they're messing it up already because they've already, like a week before London Celebration, the original guy, what's his name, Damon Lindelof, that had a script for it, that was doing it.
Mhm. Mhm.
He was supposed to be there, but they let him go a week before Celebration. So then I guess apparently his version was an older Ray and she was going to be talking whatever, whatever, but they switched it to the younger Ray because at London they brought out Daisy Ridley, which is cool. So I just hope whatever they do, the story makes sense. I hope they bring Finn back because Finn, the stormtrooper turned Jedi would have been such a dope concept and thing that they didn't do in the sequels. And I don't know. I just hope it just makes sense.
Yeah. Would that been your choice for the next Star Wars movie, or would you
No.
have?
So the minute I saw that, like, so at Celebration, they brought out James Mangold, the lady for the Ray movie, and Filoni, and like, bro, give me Filoni. Like,
Yep.
you
Yep.
you want your first movie in theaters in like how many years is that going to be? Like seven
That'd be.
years in
It'll
2026.
be
It'll be
7 years. Yep.
you want your first movie to be a Ray movie? Like, how did that go last time? You should have started with Filoni or the James Mango movie, which is like 10,000 years before everything, because there's no
Exactly.
expectation.
Exactly.
There's no standard or expectation that will be let down because we don't know anybody there. Nobody's alive. So you could do whatever you want. And we can't go in disappointed. Well, this person wasn't there and they were alive at that time, or this person wasn't there. Like, so they should have did that. I don't know. They like learning things the hard way, I guess, sometimes.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same exact timeline. It's the same mistakes, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't really see what they see in this movie with Daisy Ridley go into a character that's not really that liked, to be honest with you, in the entire Star Wars community.
Yeah.
I really don't see it, and it's like, is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I like you said, I would have rather seen something where they go 10,000 years back. Give us Old
Yes.
Republic. How
Oh,
long have we been talking about we want Old Republic? You know, we can get it
ex-
everywhere except in a movie.
exactly. It boggles my mind. And then now I saw that there might be two movies in 2026, the Ray movie and potentially the Filoni movie, maybe in December. So now it's kind of like, well, they doing that on purpose in case Ray movie bombs?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
don't worry,
yeah.
guys, we got Filoni coming. You
Right.
all love Dave. Is that the fail safe? Because that's not a good way to look at things.
Just do Dave. Why?
Dave,
Why do the?
yes.
Just do Dave. Yeah,
Start off
everything
with a
Dave's done.
bang.
Right. Right. Don't
Yeah.
don't don't. This is not the time to be experimenting. We kind of did that with the
Yes.
sequel trilogy where we experimented. Well, it didn't receive
No.
very well. And there you go, man. There you go.
Yeah.
As far as everything that's happened with Disney so far, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's Star Wars overload? Because, like you were talking, when Revenge of the Sith was out, Attack of the Clones, you get a movie once every 3 years, and that's
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's overload now?
I mean, it definitely is overload. Like, of course it is, but like, it could have been a good overload if it would have been done by the right people with the stuff that we want. So, like, I know when what was it when Last Jedi came out, everyone, that split everybody in half.
Yep.
Solo came out and bombed. So because Solo bombed, they scrapped the Kenobi movie because allegedly they had a Kenobi trilogy that they were going to do. Like, so we got robbed of that, and that trilogy they kind of squeezed into the show parts of it and stretched it out because it should have just been a movie, not 6 episodes. So yeah, it's definitely a lot, but like, imagine if it was like a year where we just got, okay, Clone Wars season 7, Mando season 1, Tales of the Jedi. Like, those were all peak bangers. Like, that'd be a great year, but it's not. It's like we get one good thing if we're lucky, and then everything else is kind of like mid or so.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's rough, man.
It is rough. It's hard to be a Star Wars fan, and then
it is.
Yeah, it is, because it's like, you, like we said, you get over those 3 years, you get so excited about the one thing that's going to come out, and then you go there at midnight, you watch it, and then you're pissed off for another 3 years waiting for the next thing.
I know.
So there you go.
Dark times.
Right, dark times, exactly.
Oh.
Legacy Nerd, what's up, Daniel? Thanks for coming by, man. Good to see you. We got BSC Geek. What's up, buddy?
What's
Guys,
up?
if you haven't checked out BSC Geek, go check him out. Another great YouTuber. Last Jedi was the worst movie for you and everybody else.
Yeah, that's the.
Oh, here we go. Okay, this is a good one, Tony. Here we go. So the Star Wars Holiday Special was my childhood nightmare. I mean, I can agree with that. Have you seen the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Pretty bad. Yep. Let's see. So let's see. If there was one Star Wars character you wished was voiced by your favorite actor instead, who would it be?
Star Wars character you wish was voiced by your favorite actor, like a live action character,
I guess,
or animated. I mean, voice. I mean, we kind of got it, but I was gonna say Sam Witwer as Maul. I love him as Maul, but they kind of did that in the Solo because it was Ray Park's body, but Sam Witwer's voice. But anything with Sam Witwer, bro, they need to give him more work. I love that man. He is a treasure.
Absolutely, yeah, he does a great job, man. Great job. We got SPC Unleashed.
Austin, what's up, bro?
We've got T-Man Does Games V2. Dude, you're bringing your whole crew.
What
here,
up, T-Man? Yeah.
You're bringing everybody, man. Let's see who else we got. Okay, I love let's get to Arts. I love doing con show coverage videos. I did Celebrations Anaheim.
Nice.
Shows. Yeah, Art's all over the place. Art does it all.
Nice. I bet you Art is probably in the background of one of my videos, and I might be in the background of one of his.
Right. Do you know Steve-O? Do you know Collecting Star Wars?
Collecting Star Wars.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's in Florida too. He does a lot of shows.
Really? Was he at ICC Con?
I don't think he was.
Okay. No. Maybe I've seen him before. I probably would have ran into him because I'm in all these Florida shows.
Yeah, go check him out, man. He's Collecting Star Wars.
Check him out.
Great guy. Does a great job. Man. Go check him out.
I think he does a lot of his videos in his car with his phone, like before and after.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen a ton of his videos, and I think I have been at some of those shows because I was like, oh, I was there, but I didn't see him. But I've seen a bunch of his videos. Yeah.
Another huge Star Wars guy. Does a great job, man.
I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's see what else we got here. I'm way behind the chat, man, so I'm just trying to catch up.
Oh yeah, they're on fire.
There's no rhyme or reason as to how shorts work even worse than the regular video mystical algorithm. Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna hurt your head if you're trying to figure that out. It's probably not even worth it, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. I love that Ahmed Best saved for Grugo for all the crap he took over the years. It was like a thank you to him. Now he's saved. Yeah, I mean, the guy had like suicidal thoughts from that. I know, which is wild. It's like, I'm glad they threw him a bone with that. I think that was the right thing to do. I think it's one of the best things they've done for an old Star Wars actor in a long time.
Yeah. And I hope he starts going to these shows and conventions because the love he will get is crazy. Because like when Hayden started coming back at Anaheim, I remember him on the live stage and he almost started crying. and you can see the videos on YouTube, and it like just from the love, like he was overwhelmed with the love, and I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about that moment because like he deserves it, man. They all
Right.
do.
Absolutely, man. He definitely deserves it. That's for sure. I wish Stephen Lane voiced Ryder Azadi in Star Wars Rebels, and if Ryder Azadi does possibly appear in the Ahsoka series, I wish Stephen Lane portrayed him instead. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. All right. Let's see, my prediction: they will bring in older Grogu to help Ray with establishing the Jedi Order. Grogu will help Ray
Over
help
in
put Ray
wrestling.
over in wrestling terms. Well, I mean, anything's possible with Disney,
Yeah.
guys. Anything's possible. All right, cool. Hey, there's my brother, Dan Henry. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
What's up?
Always on. Okay. Well, I think this is a universal thing. I blame Kathleen Kennedy. Do you blame Kathleen
Yeah.
Kennedy? I do. I do to an extent.
Well, clearly, because she's there and she like approves stuff and changes stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
I feel like sometimes she forces stuff that she shouldn't, and like just focus on the story and casting the person that is best for that role. Don't try to force cast because they check a box or this or that. Like, get the right
Exactly.
person for the right job for the right story. That's all we care about. I don't care who they are, male or female or whatever. Like, as long as they do a good job doing that person, I just want to see lightsabers fighting. Come on.
Right.
I'm
Right.
so easy to please.
Absolutely. You have the right person for the right role. Don't force
Yep.
things. Once you start putting
Yep.
in politics and all that other crap, it's like
Yeah.
it's so obvious,
Because
and
you'll
it's
piss
very
somebody off either
exactly,
way. So
exactly.
don't why include that or mention that. Just hey, we cast this person, they're this person. Done.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right, man. So I forgot to ask you this earlier. What is your favorite piece in your collection?
Oh crap. That's a good one. Damn, it might be the X-Wing. It's either the signed Kenner X-Wing.
Mm,
It is right up here because the original designer from Kenner in the 70s, he signed it for us at ICC Con. And his story is crazy because he was working for Kenner and he heard about this movie called Star Wars coming out. And he was the one that pushed Kenner to get that contract to make the toys. So it's because of him we have all these crazy Star Wars toys.
mm.
So that's really, really meaningful. The other thing is maybe this Funko that I got at Anaheim Celebration, this Obi-Wan Kenobi holographic Funko. That's one of 3,000 that goes for like 900, which is ridiculous. But Anaheim saved some of the stock, and when we went into the celebration store, I got it for $20, which I was shocked that I got it for retail. So
Absolutely, man.
the story with that, like I'll never forget that moment because I almost had a heart attack.
Right. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome. Couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an obvious one. What is it about Star Wars that draws you in? What is it that makes it your go-to, whether it be for media, whether it be for collecting? What is it about Star Wars, man?
It all started in the 90s. My dad had the VHS box set. Watching A New Hope, I probably watched A New Hope the most. It just was just so cool. Like the Force, lightsabers, X-Wing, Vader, Stormtroopers, the little green guy, like all this stuff. Like it, it just hooked me because it was just such a cool fantasy world. Because back in the 90s, there was no like internet and stuff like that. So
Right,
like
right.
to have that, I mean, that's all I had. I had VHS Star Wars, VHS Indiana Jones, VHS Back to the Future. So that's me. That's how I live my life. So it just started with that. And then I remember in 99, like, oh, a new Star Wars coming out. I could see it in
Yeah,
theaters and seeing all three of them in theaters. And then after that, it wasn't much. And then Disney came back. And then 2015, starting to see new Star Wars merch. The Force Awakens came back, which it was just nice to get back in there and see the crawl. And just it's
exactly,
such a
exactly.
feeling. I still remember that seeing that Thursday night at like 6 p.m. show. It was dope. So that's what just got me into it. Just in the early 90s, watching it as a kid all the time, and I just never stopped.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it just sucks you in.
Yeah.
And then it's like, a lot of people ask me, they're like, if you had to keep one part of your collection, would be, well, it's right behind me.
Yeah.
I could never sell all my Star Wars. I
Yeah.
could get rid of everything else, but Star Wars has got to stay. Do you collect anything else besides Star Wars?
So I have some, I try not to, and I've sold a bunch, but like, so for Funko, I do have like a bunch of like uh the House of Dragon pops, Game of Thrones pops, a bunch of Marvel stuff. So I do have a lot of Marvel Funko Pops, some Marvel Black Series, some Marvel 3 3/4, a few, but like it's you know how it is, man. You can't get everything
Yeah.
of every scale of
Right.
every genre. So
Right.
a lot of that stuff is stuff like if it's a crazy deal or if it's somebody I love a lot, I'll get it. But I'm running out of room, so I'm trying to stay away from that. Like I probably have 30 different Spider-Man pops hiding in a closet. But yeah, some of that stuff, a little bit of DC stuff too.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's like every collector has that problem. Not enough
Yeah,
room. Can't buy everything. You got to be
yeah,
picky. You got to be choosy,
yeah.
especially how prices are. Have prices affected your collecting habits? I know you said you get a lot of
Oh,
stuff on clearance.
Lord, yes, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Everything. So I buy a lot less, but like now I wait till it all hits clearance and then I get a lot more. So like the Black Series Dark Troopers that dropped, they were
Oh
like what
yeah.
35 or 45.
Yep.
That was ridiculous. I got 3 of them on clearance at Target for $11 each. So
Yeah. Same here,
I
man.
just
Same here.
waited.
Yep.
I bought the whole shelf. I bought all of them, $11 each. So that's what I had to do now, which is crazy. I don't really buy nothing unless it's somebody I love a lot, but I just wait till it hits clearance, whether it's at Target. I got the speeder bike off Amazon. They're at Walmart's, like you mentioned. So I just wait to see who gets it on sale, unless it's an exclusive that's to one retailer where you know if you want it, you got to get it.
Right.
I just wait, man, and I get everything on sale.
Man, that's the way to do it. I wish I had your self control because a lot of times you see that pre order, you're like, I got to get that. I got to get that now. And it's like,
No, and now I hate the pre-orders now because I used to pre-order a lot, but then it would take forever, and then I would start finding stuff in stores.
exactly.
So like
Exactly.
Target had the Luke on the sail barge and the Chewbacca Funkos, and I pre-ordered them, and I saw them in the store. So I'm in the store, I grabbed them, I opened the Target app, canceled both my pre-orders, and I just bought them.
There you
So
go.
that happens way too often where now I don't pre-order unless it's something crazy. I'll do it on Amazon just because they don't charge you or nothing like
Right.
that. That way,
Right.
if I don't find it, I have it secured. Like I pre-ordered the vintage collection Razor Crest just in case, because that one I think a lot of people want.
Mm-hmm.
Or no,
Mm-hmm.
not the Razor Crest, the vintage the N1
No,
Starfighter.
N1
Yeah,
Starfighter.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That sold out quick, man. I mean,
It
it sold
did.
out
So
everywhere.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I pre-ordered it. I have it on Amazon, but if I see it somewhere, I could just grab it and then cancel it.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's going to be a big seller, man. I really don't think people are going to be canceling it. I think they're going to keep it. I mean, it's a good looking
Yeah,
ship, a little
it
overpriced,
is.
but
Oh,
good looking,
100%.
you
Yeah.
know. But they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's Mando, so they know exactly what they're doing, man. Couple more things here, then I'll let you go, buddy. So we've got
Yeah.
problem with Star Wars in the movies is there's no real plan. Show works for the
Yep.
most part because Filoni and Favreau actually have a plan. It's been that way since Disney took over, I think. I think there was when Lucas
100%.
was in charge, man, he ran a tight ship. He had a plan. It
Yep.
might not always go his way, but he had a plan and he kept everybody in check.
Yeah.
It's kind of a free for all now. So hopefully they can get that magic back, like we talked about before. So, all right, Tony. Well, I appreciate you being on here, man. I really do.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a
Thanks for
chance to
having me.
plug. Absolutely, man. You're welcome back anytime. I'm going to give you a chance to plug yourself. Tell us where we can find you. What's on the horizon, and
Yeah.
the floor is yours, man.
Yep. So you can find me on YouTube, Star Wars Sith. So I think the @ handle is at Star Wars Sith 66, and then Instagram is just Star Wars Sith. I'm on TikTok as well. I think it's Star Wars Sith 66, something like that. But pretty much on all platforms, Twitter as well. And then just coming up this week, actually tomorrow, I'm dropping a new video. It is a rumor video for the next Hasbro HasLab Vintage Collection vehicle that is going to be announced next month at San Diego Comic-Con. So I'll be dropping that video tomorrow. And then Wednesday will be the live show, Dark Side Secrets at 5. Friday will be another episode of Sith Talk. So that's what I got coming up this week.
Gotcha. I don't want to ruin your video, but what do you think the HasLab's going to be?
Ghost.
Ghost.
Ghost, baby.
You don't think it's going to be the Ewok Village?
I would take either or. It's kind of hard because like it should be the Ghost. It would make the most sense. But I think they'll probably do the Ewok Village just because like they don't really make
Turn
the
of the
most sense when
Jedi,
they do
yeah.
their stuff.
Right.
So
right.
because everybody wants the Ghost, Ahsoka drops next month. People will go nuts, Rebels fans, and once they see it in Ahsoka, they're gonna want it more. But I would love an Ewok Village as well. So I guess we'll see.
Hasbro doesn't have a problem getting vintage collection HasLabs to pass. It's the Black Series they can't seem to get right.
So those last two, like I like the Rancor. I love Rancors, but like the price was kind of up there, and then the add-on levels or whatever,
They sucked.
they
Yeah,
sucked, or it
they
was a bad order. It should have been Luke first,
right.
then Salacious, then the Gamorrean. Keep your cardboard stuff. So they messed that up. And the Riva saber, if it would have just been titled Grand Inquisitor saber, I would have backed it because it looks dope. The stand was dope, but I'm not gonna spend 500 for a saber that says Riva's lightsaber on it. Like,
Right,
I'm
right,
not a Riva fan,
right,
so
right, right.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Awesome, man. Well, you and I could probably talk Star Wars all day, but
Oh yeah,
I'll let you go, man. But thank you
thank you,
again
man.
so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Appreciate you being on the show. I got a video I just finished, so I'll probably drop that sometime tomorrow. Don't know when. I'll be on Instagram to push it. So, and then next week, we got the boys from Well That F and Figures, Joe and Colin will be on. We're gonna
nice,
mostly pay attention to their show and their live stream. They both been on this show and gone through this, hazing or whatever you want to call it. So I
nice.
really want to get into their show. How they get all these awesome guests. They've had tons of awesome. You've been on there
Yeah,
several
yeah,
times. You've been on
yeah,
there. So
yeah.
we'll talk to those guys about that. And then a lot of these guys are also going to be on the show. We're booked through mid-August. So
Nice.
hopefully we can get more. But thank you again, Tony. Appreciate it, man. All you guys
Thanks
in the
for having
chat, you
me.
guys were on fire tonight. Go check out General Kenobi's bunker at 8:30. He's doing a 2-year birthday celebration
I'm gonna
for his
hop in there
YouTube channel.
next.
Go for
Yeah,
it, man. Open
yeah,
mic night. I won't be able to be there, but you guys go in
yeah.
there and push General Kenobi. All
Yes.
right, guys. That's it. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week. Thanks again, Tony.
Peace.